Hey guys, I'm going to read you a story today called My Great Aunt Arizona. It's one of my favorite books, and I didn't get to read it with my class this year. My great aunt Arizona was born in a log cabin her papa built in the meadow on Henson Creek in the Blue Ridge Mountains. When she was born, the mailman rode across the bridge on his big bay horse with a letter. The letter was from her brother Galen, who was in the cavalry far away in the west. The letter said, "If the baby is a girl, please name her Arizona, and she will be beautiful like this land." Arizona was a very tall little girl. She wore her long brown hair in braids. She wore long full dresses and a pretty white apron. She wore high buttoned shoes and many petticoats too. Arizona liked to grow flowers. She liked to read and sing. And square dance to the music of the fiddler on Saturday night. Arizona had a little brother Jim. They played together on the farm. In summer, they went barefoot and caught tadpoles on the creek. And in the fall, they climbed the mountains searching the galax and ginseng roots. In the winter, they made snow cream with sugar, snow, and sweet cream from Mama's cows. When spring came, they helped Papa tap the maple trees and catch the sap in buckets. Then they made maple syrup and maple sugar candy. Arizona and her brother Jim walked up the road that wound by the creek to the one-room school. All the students in all the grades were there together in one room. All the students read their lessons aloud at the same time. They made a great deal of noise, so the room was called a blab school. Can you imagine all of us reading out loud at the exact same time and all different grades in the same room? The students carried their lunches in lard buckets made of tin. They brought ham and biscuits, and sometimes they had fried apple pie. They drank cool water from the spring at the bottom of the hill, and at recess they played games like tag and William Matromato. I don't know that game. When Arizona had read all the books at the one-room school, she crossed the mountains and to school in another village called Wing. It was so far away that she rode her papa's mule. Sometimes she rode the mule through the snow. When Arizona's mother died, Arizona had to leave school and stay home to care for Papa and her brother Jim, but she still loved to read and dream about the faraway places she would visit one day. She read and she dreamed, and she took care of Papa and Jim. Then one day, Papa brought home a new wife, and Arizona could go away to school where she could learn to be a teacher. Aunt Susie invited Arizona to live at her house and help with the chores. Aunt Susie made her work very hard, but at night, Arizona could study and dream of all the faraway places she would visit one day. Finally, Arizona returned to her home on Henson Creek. She was a teacher at last. She taught in the one-room school where she and Jim had sat. She made new chalkboards out of lumber from Papa's sawmill and covered them with polish made for shoes. She wore long, full dresses and a pretty white apron, and she wore high-buttoned shoes and many petticoats, too. She grew flowers in every window, and she taught students about words and numbers and the faraway places they would visit someday. "Have you been there?" the students asked. "Only in my mind," she answered, "but someday you will go." Arizona married the carpenter who helped build the new Riverside School down where Henson Creek joins the river. So Miss Arizona became Miss Hughes, and for the rest of her days she taught fourth grade students who called her Miss Shoes. And when her daughter was born, Miss Shoes brought the baby to school to the sunny room where flowers grew in every window. Can you imagine people bringing their babies to school now? Every year, Arizona had a Christmas tree growing in a pot. The girls and boys made paper decorations to brighten up the tree, and then they planted their tree at the edge of the schoolyard year after year until the playground was lined with living Christmas trees, like soldiers guarding the room where Arizona taught. with their long gray braids wound round her head, with their long full dresses and pretty white aprons, with their high buttoned shoes and many petticoats too. Look at all those trees they planted. The boys and girls who were students in their class had boys and girls who were students in her class, and they had boys and girls who were students in her class. For 57 years, my great aunt Arizona hugged her students. She hugged them when their work was good, and she hugged them when it was not. She taught them words and numbers and about faraway places they would visit someday. Have you been there? The students asked. Only in my mind, she answered, but someday you. My great My great Aunt Arizona taught my dad, Jim's only son, and she taught my brother and me in the fourth grade. With her soft white braids wound round her head, she taught us about the faraway places we would visit someday. My great Aunt Arizona died on her 93rd birthday, but she goes with me in my mind. A very tall lady in a long full dress and a pretty white apron, with her high buttoned shoes and her many petticoats too. She's always there in a sunny room with many flowers in every window, and a hug for me every day. She never did go to the faraway places she taught us about, but my great Aunt Arizona travels with me and with those of us whose lives she touched. She goes with us in our minds. Hope you enjoyed the story.